Listen, I am not going to hold you too long today because these sinuses is sinusing. And yes, we have a different format for today, but that's because I had a thought, right? I had a thought, and if it hits you like it hits me, then maybe this message is for you too, all right? So, you want the marathon, but you ain't walked the mile. Yep, and I'm not saying that with no shade, right? Because I'm saying it with love because I had to say it to myself. And recently, you want the marathon, but you ain't walked the mile. Here's where I'm coming from. We be out here talking about how we want to change, right? We want the growth, right? Success and peace and clarity and shoot, like the healthier body, stronger faith, more joy, right? But what we don't always want that comes with that is the mile. Yeah, and that mile looks different for all of us, but it could be the early mornings or the mindset shifts, right? The boundaries, the being okay with starting over. And I get it. All right, I get it. Because the mile doesn't always look cute, right? Sometimes the mile is like crying at your desk. Sometimes in the mile, it's like telling your kids, listen, give me 10 minutes, okay? Sometimes it's like starting all over again from day one. But let me tell you something for truth. That's how for truth, why I say from where I'm from, right? We'll say for truth. Let me tell you something for truth. Every time I've dared to walk the mile, even when it's been scary, uncertain, messy, it still moves something. It moves something. Coming on here to remind you to start. Start raggedy. Start unsure. Sure but unsure. Start right where you at, but baby starts, okay? Because the marathon, the end goal, the end result, that's going to only come after you lace up them shoes and get moving. Once you start your mile. So here's the thing to remember for yourself. Just because you haven't doesn't mean that you can't, right? Just because you haven't yet doesn't mean that you can't. This has nothing to do with your age. This has to do with your intention, right? So just because you haven't laced up your shoes and started walking just yet, you might have been on the sidelines, right? Like you might have been just watching other folks run their race, do their thing, cheering them on, clapping for them. But in your heart, you like, what would it look like if I showed up for me? What would that look like? So that's the mile that I'm talking about. Right? I'm not talking about chasing somebody else's race or at their pace. I am talking about you simply deciding that you are worth starting for. And I get it. I get it. Life be lifing for all of us at various times, right? And you've probably carried grief. You've raised kids or nieces and nephews or ran businesses. You held it down in rooms that you weren't even seen in, right? So that might have been your story. And so if it is, like your mile might just look like saying, I'm tired of this and I want better for me. And that in itself, declaring it, the declaration is a start. All right. So it doesn't always have to look like fast action or the action that you see other people doing. Sometimes your start is just like you taking that whisper in your mind and writing that in your journal. Or you walking past the mirror and being like, you know what? I still got it. I still got this. I still got this. So let me say this clearly. You do not have to wait until it's perfect to begin. You don't need them new gym shoes or the best gym shoes to get back into the gym. You don't need a new planner. You don't need a quiet house. You just need a made up mind. That's it. A made up mind that I will begin and I will begin again if I need to. That's all I did your chronic moment, right? So it was done in the middle of chaos. And yes, it was chaotic because the idea was downloaded into me during a campaign year, right? So it wasn't on my 2024 plan at all. And not only was it in a campaign year when I announced it, by the time the event was held, we are under a new administration already. And yeah. A lot of moving parts that I had no control over, all right? So not a perfect plan, not even a room full, but I had already made up my mind that said, I want to feel hearts, right? And not just seats. I want to hold space for women to see themselves again. And that was beauty. beauty in the midst of chaos, right? So even if only one person had got it, it was worth it. It was worth it because I was going to keep my promise, my commitment to God and to myself. And I've done it in the past, but I aim to not do it again, which is dishonor myself by holding back what I know I've been called to share. So today, I just want to speak to your moment, right? That one thing that's been kind of like tapping you on the shoulder says, you know, that idea that you wrote down, that healing that you keep avoiding, you pinch to it, but then you run right back, right? That dream that you keep saying, oh my God, I'm 55, it's too late for this, right? It's not. You're not. Like, you are right on time. You're right on time. And when you actually take your first step, whether it's you signing up for therapy or you start the business, or you might choose to drink water today, you might you gonna rest without guilt, right? That's your mile. It may look different from my mile or her mile, but it's your mile. So I promise you, when you start to honor that start, your marathon, it's gonna make sense. But you gotta start. All right, so if something that I shared touched you, it did something for you, don't keep it to yourself, okay? This is how we all grow. I want you to make sure you like, comment, and share this. Share this with somebody who's been sitting on the start, all right? And then make sure you subscribe so we can continue to do some soul work together. My goal is to give you a video every week in the aspect of wellness or beauty. So until the next time, I want you to be gentle with yourself, all right? And don't be afraid to start. Be willing to fight yourself for yourself, all right? Peace out. I don't know, hold on. I peace out on that side. See y'all next time.